Got a few minutes? This video scribe is for students at the University of the Sunshine Coast studying management accounting. In this scribe, we'll consider what sustainability means to profit-seeking organizations. What is sustainability and why should organizations care? In 1987, the term sustainability was defined in the Brundtland Report to the United Nations as development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. The word needs is very broad. It includes economic needs, but also social and environmental needs. How much money do you need? What about your social and environmental needs? How do organizations influence the extent to which your needs are being met? No distinction is made in that definition as to whose needs are to be met. Of course, your needs are important, but the definition recognizes that other people's needs are just as important. That means the person next to you and the person on the other side of the world. And not just now, the needs of future generations are also important. Organizations have the greatest impact on the economic, social, and environmental needs of people now and in the future. Therefore, changing the way for-profit organizations operate has the greatest potential to increase the extent to which those needs are met. The problem is global, but what does it mean for a single organization? The first step is to start recognizing the way in which an organization impacts on people and the environment, now and in the future. These impacts need to include externalities. Externalities recognize that organizations impact on those around them in ways that are not captured in contracts and financial transactions. The extent of an organization's effect, now and into the future, is very difficult to define, and even more difficult to quantify. We can start, however, by identifying some of the more obvious consequences of the organization's actions. Consider some examples. As an economic externality, imagine BHP and the effect that it has on the economy of a town like Mount Isa. The money paid to employees quickly ends up in the hands of shopkeepers and tradespeople. This is an example of a positive externality. An example of a negative economic externality might be the drop in house prices if a pig farm were to set up in your neighborhood. There are also social externalities. For example, when a company sends its employees to remote locations, it can have a significant impact on the employee's family life. This may create negative externalities as the family members are affected by the physical separation. As a specific example of that, truck drivers who travel interstate. This externality might be mitigated by providing truck drivers with mobile phones so they can stay in touch with their families. And of course there are environmental externalities. When a factory operates in a way that creates pollution, the organization has benefits financially from the production process, but the community, the environment, and even generations into the future bear the cost associated with reduced air quality, diminished life expectancy, and higher medical costs. In addition to legal requirements, why should organizations be aware of and seek to manage the externalities of their operations? The following are just 7 reasons why an organization might commit itself to sustainability. For example, solar power might be a better investment than coal-fired electricity generation equipment. Long before the 100-year lifespan of a coal-fired generator is up, fossil fuels might be banned, leaving the equipment useless. Looking forward to a more sustainable solution might preempt the change that is occurring in attitudes and environmental conditions. Number 2. Companies may seem to be getting away with poor social or environmental performance, but consider the BP disaster in the Gulf of Mexico, or the damage to Nike's reputation from using child labor. How quickly things can go very bad. This highlights the huge risk from poor social or environmental performance. Number 3. As attitudes are changing, customers often expect organizations to be more responsible. When the media exposed the use of child labor by large multinationals, many customers demonstrated their concerns by boycotting the company's products. Number 4. Changing attitudes are creating new markets, new industries, new customers. For example, solar, wind, and other sources of renewable energy. These new markets, industries, and customers create opportunities for revenue. Number 5. Many employees would prefer to work for an organization that is socially and environmentally responsible. That means the organization may be able to recruit and retain the best employees who are often not motivated by money alone. Number 6. Doing more with less is a challenge. Challenges often motivate innovation. Electric cars, LED lights, microfinancing are all sustainable responses to changing social and environmental conditions. Number 7. Cost savings are often achieved by becoming more efficient. This applies particularly to non-renewable resources like fossil fuels. Cost savings from an energy-efficient car will steadily increase as the cost of petrol rises. In addition to these self-serving reasons for becoming more sustainable, some organizations have chosen to be more socially and environmentally responsible just because they believe it is the right thing to do. Sustainability can be a powerful corporate culture that increases the level of employee commitment. What is interesting is that many organizations that have chosen to be sustainable based on their corporate values have also been financially successful. I hope this has helped you to understand what sustainability means to organizations. You should also be able to define and give examples of externalities. Finally, you should be able to identify some of the reasons why an organization might invest in becoming more sustainable. And that's the end of this video.